Sound check. Yeah.
Hello.
All right.
Check. Welcome
So anyways, I had to just resist the urge from my captain's chair to yell
out.
pivot. And then when I told them later, they were like, "Oh, you should have said that. That totally would have lightened the mood, and it would have been really, really funny."
You know, you can. Those situations, I've had that with furniture where you're laughing initially, and then it gets to a.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're ready to just take a saw, cut it down the middle, and.
Without creating mountains where the valleys used to be. And all the things I thought I knew were changing like the seas. Yeah. But I've overcome it all and I'm still here. Oh, I gotta change perspectives if I really wanna see.
The other thing was too, so Aunt Sharon had a table that she had in mind for her dining room.
Okay.
Well, she also had her like china thing hutch
That was
had
very
to go. It was
important to
very
her.
important to her.
Yep.
So important, right? Well, the table that she wanted there, I was like, it's not gonna work, right? So she wanted one upstairs and one downstairs. Well, the one that she wanted downstairs doesn't come apart at all. Like I don't know if they built it in the house where it was, but I don't know. It just doesn't come apart. It's just one of those that's very old. It's like 60 something years old, you know?
Yeah, it's not going to go downstairs.
So of course,
typically.
Addison was like, challenge accepted. She's like, I think this table will come apart, right? And so at one point, she has now flipped the table over. She goes and finds the right tools.
Okay.
She takes all the screws out of what she thinks is going to take the table apart, right?
What she thinks.
And all of a sudden, I look over and she's got like a flathead screwdriver and she's using it like a pry bar.
Oh.
And I'm like, what are we doing over here? And she says, it's glued together. And I was like, okay, that is a sign that
stop.
the table doesn't come apart. Please do not take the glue off of the table. And I was like, you must accept defeat. And just be like, I tried, I gave it my best shot. Now please put all the screws back together and flip it back over again.
Yes.
And she was like, oh, I really thought that was going to work. But it was hilarious. I was just like, okay, this is the table that's going to be here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
When she accepts a challenge, she is she's all in.
Yeah, she is all in. And she did not want to give up on that one. And I was really glad I was monitoring it because like she would have just... Anyways.
Was she going to glue it back together downstairs?
I don't think that in her 15-year-old brain she realized that like that was an essential part of the design of the table, like that because it slides apart. And anyways, okay, so it was a good thing that she didn't, because that was like one of Aunt Sharon's most favorite things.
Oh,
of
good
all
thing then.
So yeah. It was a good move. We got her in. She's all set. She's
good.
all
Is she
taken care
happy?
of.
She likes it?
She's so happy. Grandma's so
good.
happy. We moved her in,
Wonderful.
and she's super happy too. So
Good,
it's
'cause
the
moving
first
can
time
be
they're
hard.
living together.
Oh.
Right? So they have lived in like a 2-flat type thing where Aunt Sharon and Uncle Bob were below, and then Grandma had her own apartment, but only accessed from outside, right?
Oh,
so you had
got
to go
it. Very
out
private.
and up, and you know. So Grandma used to pound on the floor with a broom, and then Aunt Sharon would call her on the phone and say, "What do you want?" You know. Anyways, so now they are learning how to share a
in a space.
household. You know, which is the first time that they've ever done that, and they're both
in
very
a new
independent
state
women.
in town.
And in a new state. Oh, funny story about that. And Aunt Sharon will kill me if I tell this, but I don't care. So she lives in Jenison, and she went to the Jenison Meijer, which is quite literally 2 miles away from her house.
Okay.
And Erin was over there hanging out with Grandma, making sure she was okay and everything. And all of a sudden, Grandma's like, it's been quite a while. Like, do you think she's okay?
Oh, no.
And Erin's just like, well, she's probably having a great time shopping. Like, why?
Just assuming.
This is not a big deal, right? And so he says, well, let me just check her location. Like, they have their location. And so he looks on a GPS. She's on Alpine. And he's like, how do you...
Is there an Alpine in Jenison now?
There's no easy way to get from the Meijer in Jenison to Alpine, right? And so he doesn't say anything. He doesn't call her. He just checked the location, thinking maybe she went to Sam's Club or she went somewhere that she needed to go.
Because there's a lot of things on Alpine.
Because why not? You know?
Oh, no.
Well, she gets home like a half an hour later, right? And she's like, That was the longest trip ever. I mean, literally, it's 2 miles to the store. This is after she had gone shopping. So she had already gone to Meyer and Jennison and somehow followed the GPS sort of and ended up on Alpine. And I still I'm still picturing
How?
there's literally, you can't just keep going down a road and
There's
accidentally
effort
go
to
to
get
Alpine.
to
There is,
Alpine.
you have to go around, you have to go through, you have to go across bridges, you have to go on highways. I'm like, how did this? Anyways, so she definitely had her first experience with getting lost in Grand Rapids. And it was just the greatest thing in the whole world. And I love Aunt Sharon's giggle. So I loved, hearing the story. And yeah. So now I'm like, okay, ready? You drive down Baldwin. You turn around. Then you make a left. Go back down Baldwin. Go to your house. You could walk there if you wanted to.
She's probably like, man, grocery shopping here sucks.
Right? I mean, in Chicago, you drive 2 miles. It takes you 45 minutes.
Right,
She drove
right.
for 45 minutes and probably went like 40 miles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she
We get a lot of miles for our time here, so.
We really do. Oh my goodness. So it's but no,
Oh,
it's
man.
wonderful to have her here. It's wonderful to know
Good.
that she's settled and
Good.
Grandma's settled and just they're doing
I
well.
wish you the
So,
best, Aunt Sharon.
Yes,
so.
we love you, Aunt Sharon. You are amazing. And I actually miss her living with us. She was with us for a month and I miss
you
just,
I love that you had
little-
that time then.
little laughs
Yeah.
and stories and fun.
Yeah,
And
I love how your face just lights up talking about it. That's a
Oh,
cool
she's one of
thing
my
when
favorite
somebody's in
Yeah.
your space and
yeah. Because she
Good.
was just a great house guest.
Aw.
She's just
Yeah,
very helpful
Sharon.
and always just.
if I need a house guest, I'm calling you, Aunt Sharon.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the best.
We'll pop you up by the porta potty.
Yep. I love it. So I had so much fun putting together our blooper reel, by the way, the other day.
I've watched it a few times.
I did
I'm not
too.
gonna
Every
lie.
time I get in a bad mood about something, I throw that on and I'm like,
Same.
It just makes me
Same.
laugh. There will be another one coming because I was like, I don't want it to be too
Are
long.
you sure we have enough?
Well, yeah, we have enough.
We have enough.
We do. Yeah. But I wanted
Blooper
it
for a
under
blooper
10
reel?
minutes. I wanted
I
it under
say
10
that
minutes. but yeah.
I'm trying to straight face ask you that.
My
but
favorite one was when I was doing like this and you just couldn't even keep your... It was the best. Yeah.
It was good.
Anyways,
we laugh.
it was
We have
good
fun.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on location the past 2 weeks, that was super,
It was so much fun.
super fun.
I know. I can't wait to show that store to Robert.
I think it's
Maybe I
brought a
can-
lot of attention to
Oh,
the stores
I hope
downtown
so.
and everything.
I know.
And
I want to do more of that. If you have a store, a place, a business,
Yeah.
and you want two fun broads to come
Yep.
and chat in your spot, we'll do it.
I love that. I love highlighting all the small businesses in the
Oh, for
area.
sure.
You know,
For
I mean,
sure.
for us, it's super fun. We love to highlight
Yeah.
it. It's free advertising for
Yes.
them, so I think we should do more of
It's
that
amazing.
for other.
Yeah.
Other
if
people.
there's some place you want to see us,
Yeah, get a hold of
Let
us
us
if you
know.
want us to come to your store.
yeah,
We're fun. We promise.
trust us.
All right, so since then, I have had surgery again.
You have.
Had my left side. I'm no
Yes.
longer solo cup, but I'm going to maintain that as my nickname
As your
forever.
nickname, I know for a little bit we're
Yep.
gonna look very similar.
Yep, there's ruffles. There's nothing. So Aaron said when he hugs me, he can get his arms like
All the
so
way-
much farther around me now, 'cause
It must feel very different.
there were 2 double D's in the way before. That's some serious space.
What
So
about you? Is it like,
my back
are
feels
you
pretty
noticing?
good. Yeah. It's like I'm not carrying anything. Like I find
Right.
myself sitting up a little straighter because
Okay.
I'm not like
Yeah.
hunched, But
all
for
things I never
me-
really thought about. To
No,
be
and
honest.
nobody really. You don't think about it because okay, so like you and I were chatting a little bit off air beforehand. I'm having a hard time finding the right kind of outfits right now.
Right.
Now, with me when I had one and not the other, it was like, okay, all right, this is weird. Kind of felt weird. But I was like, I can still rock this, right?
Right.
Because I had one, so I still felt like I had a boob, right?
Sure.
And
Yep.
then the other side just kind of like,
It just kind of joined in
but
off
like
to the
shirts
side.
still would be pushed out and then come
Right,
down,
right.
things like that, right? And so I
I'm
found that it was
understanding now.
easier
Okay.
to find outfits to wear
Yeah.
with just one
Got
because
it.
I was like, it's still there,
Yep.
And then I had a lot of fun going like, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm a woman. Like it was just like, anyways, I found humor in it. But now I have some, on the one side.
Yes.
But it's like weird shaped, right? So it's not like
Got
having
it.
small boobs or like having a man's chest, because even a man's chest has like shape to it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Mine has like this real like ripple on this side.
Like a small breast with a
like a dent in the middle.
a valley.
Like a valley in the middle. And this side is being compared to a baby's bottom right now because
Okay,
there's
yeah.
excess skin.
Yep.
And then now the skin is like touching and I have to keep a thing in between. Anyways.
Yep.
So I have 2 different size non-boobs, which is like just the weirdest, strangest concept.
Right.
I can't wear a bra because it feels weird. I can't not wear a bra because it feels weird. And so I'm just kind of stuck in this like
In that,
very
right.
uncomfortable. And so I
Right.
got my bandages off last week and then got the stitches out this week and everything. But even when I had my bandages on,
Yep.
it looked like I had boobs because I had so much packing. I was like, woo, what? Check it out. I looked like I had like a sports bra on, you know?
Yes.
But now I'm like, okay, it's getting to be warmer outside,
Yep.
so I can't wear a hoodie all the time. And so
Right.
my self-esteem is still here. I
Yes.
know who I am.
For
I love
sure.
who I am.
It's
it
just
hasn't
a challenge
altered
you
who I
have
am.
now.
But it's weird.
Yeah.
So in the past 5 months, I have had to go through like so many body changes
I
and
had
acceptance.
not stopped to think about
And
this.
then, you know, like, and I've gained weight, right? So I lose 2 boobs. I
Okay.
gain 10 pounds from lack of activity, from sitting around, from all the medicine I've been on, from all the anesthesia, all the surgeries,
Yeah,
all of that, right?
right.
So I've gained,
Steroids.
like I stood on the scale
How
today.
many rounds of steroids?
I was on steroids for almost 2 months.
That right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the moon face and everything from it.
So,
and, yeah.
right.
But I went to the doctor this morning and I stand on the scale and I'm like, dang it. Like, this is so not fair,
but
you know?
you look wonderful.
Yeah. So weight is not, I don't
For sure.
care
It's
about that right
it's
now.
just stating facts where
It
you're
is.
at. So what I'm hearing is you are in this kind of no man's land area here because Sarah knows how to dress the body she had.
Yes.
And not only has her body changed in the chest region due to a combination of factors, there's been other changes
Yeah.
also. So it's foreign to you because what worked and you gravitated towards before isn't what your new in the intermission
Yes.
self is.
Yeah. Because my
So-
belly, so now I feel like my belly looks so big no matter what I wear.
It doesn't.
But that's what I
But
feel like. You know what I mean?
I
And
understand it
so
now,
like
though.
before when I would gain weight, I would gain
You
weight
couldn't see
everywhere.
it
No, but I would
before,
gain
so-
weight everywhere. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So like my boobs would get a little bigger, my belly would get a whatever.
Just like all proportionally.
very proportionally. So now it's like I've lost 45 pounds here and then I've gained 10 pounds in my belly.
Got
and
it.
so I'm just kind of like this morning, I was literally in my closet going, I have nothing to wear. I can find nothing to wear. Nothing looks good on me. Blah, blah, blah. As I'm like throwing things and I'm putting stuff on. And then I found this ruffled shirt and I was like,
It's
this works and I love it and I'm
looks
rocking it and I
amazing.
feel good. You know, like,
It's
and it's just
amazing.
working until I find that. Cause again, I wasn't in like a self-loathing
Yeah.
space. I'm just in a like, what does that look like? My next surgery's in May. What if it gets
Right.
warm before then? You know, like,
Right.
what do I do with all of
I
that?
already know what's perfect.
It's so
I just
strange.
already know. So, and I think I may have options for you to get you through till after surgery. I already in my mind, I'm like, I know what will work. I'm taking in the things that you notice, whether or not anybody else notices. It doesn't matter because right now you are. And in my mind, I'm going, when you look down before you had chest,
Yes.
and you don't.
Like
so
I could hold things in it.
you are seeing parts of you easily
Yeah.
all the time that you did not before, which I would imagine would be very odd. Like if I were to look down and see a chest, that I wouldn't know how to dress myself. None of my
Right.
clothing would work. I'm understanding better,
Yeah.
so I think I can help.
I think it has given me so much perspective, though, into what helps you to figure out your self-esteem and your self-love and all of that. Because, you know, I claim to work with all these women and these teens, and I talk about all of
Yeah.
that. But I understand on even a deeper level at this point, you know,
Experience.
because it's been so much in such a short amount
Yeah.
of time and just kind of going, okay, this is what you look like.
Right.
Do you still love yourself when you look in the mirror? Because it's easy to love yourself when you look in the mirror when you love what you see. Like everything you're like, this is great. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, of course I love myself.
Yep.
But what if something changes? And what if something changes? And what if something changes? You know?
Yeah.
That's harder.
It is.
To look in the mirror and still say, I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough exactly how I am.
Right.
So as humans, we flex in weight. We flex
All the time.
so
All
many
the
times.
time.
I mean, people have scars. Like we just had somebody contact me the other day and she's like, we have a family photo shoot coming up and, my sister has the scar on her face and she like, it's recent and she's, and I was like, okay, well, we have the option. We can either take it out or we can try to
embrace
hide
it.
it or you can embrace it. Those are the things, you
Right.
know? And I found a lot of times with photos with different people, sometimes people are like, these scars remind me of stuff and I
Right.
want them in the photo and that's important to me. And other people are like, this reminds me of an awful thing.
For
Can
sure.
you please
It's
remove it?
memories and what comes to mind, I would
absolutely.
imagine. And
Yep.
yeah, I'm like, I am scar laden and likely to be a much larger scar added to the assortment, but the stuff is just mattering less and less and less. I'm already thinking as you're talking in my support group, I might ask you if you could come out and talk to them about that.
I would love to. I would love to. Because, again, I had to do a lot of work to get myself to where I was
Yep.
in October.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Not knowing I had this on the horizon.
For sure.
But I had to do that work. So it's not like I've just been in this like woo space and then this happened and I was like, continue woo, like that's,
Oh, I know.
that's
You worked
not it.
hard.
Yeah.
You worked so hard, but I think that brought you to this prepared.
It did.
Prepared. Because some people would say, oh, that just sucks. It came on the heels of that. I'm like, I'm so thankful it came after that because it gave you tools.
It did.
And a strength, I think, going into it and a sense of self that maybe you didn't have before. I'm just guessing.
Didn't. No, I definitely didn't. And I also didn't have the capacity to explain it to others. Right? So, and this just even happened yesterday. So I had been like, you know how you can feel your angst and your anxiety and your stress and
I
your
felt that
whatever
this morning.
it builds, right? Sometimes
Yes.
it's kind of at a lull and you're like, I don't know what that's coming from. And then it gets a little higher and then
Is this as deep-seated, just kind of?
But then all of a sudden you find yourself crabby or irritable
Yeah.
or something. But the thing that you think that you're irritated at, that's not actually
not
what it
the
is.
thing.
So yesterday I was just in my head. I was just in my head. I was in I wouldn't say a bad mood, but just sad. And I was just sad and down. And I kept apologizing to Aaron. I was like, I'm just down today. I don't know why. Like, there's nothing. And then I ended up going upstairs into my bed. And he came up to talk to me. And all of a sudden I started bawling. And it revealed to me, because I didn't even realize it, that I was upset about how I looked with my chest.
Is it? Oh,
right?
For
Like,
sure.
But I didn't know that.
I was waiting because I knew it was going to happen. That is a huge shift in appearance. And it was such a part of you. It would be a far different thing for me because my before wouldn't be a whole lot different than an after. So I'd have less of an adjustment in that. But I knew that it was going to come. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the wildest thing. And like the expression on his face, he was frustrated with me, right? But then when I shared that with him, all of a sudden it was like, he had no idea. I had no idea. Like, I didn't know that was what I was upset about. And I didn't know how to vocalize it. And then when I finally was able to, then it kind of took the power away from that because I was able to say, like, this is bothering me right now. This is a source of stress. It's not as easy as going to my closet and just grabbing something to wear.
Right.
The past 5 months, I have had to put thought. I mean, not when I'm home. When I'm home, I don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I wear
for sure.
hoodies and sweatshirts most of the time.
But it's important when you're out and about or working or that you want to present in a certain way. And part of that is how you feel when you put your clothes on.
Yeah. Here's the other thing that I did. So, like, usually, historically, if I'm kind of feeling in a funk, I put on a cute outfit that I
Yes.
know that I love, that I know that I look great in,
It's just
and I'm
kind
like,
of little.
I own this.
Your
This is
sass just
amazing.
kind of jumps up, and I know what you mean.
So I tried that yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? Prior to the breakdown and crying, I
Got
tried
it.
that.
Okay.
So I come downstairs, and Aaron was like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "Nowhere. Like, I just wanted to look cute, you know?"
Yes.
It did the exact opposite.
Really?
Because this was one of my favorite outfits before.
Oh, a prior.
And all it did for me at this point was accentuate my
Weight.
belly
And the loss.
And I was like, this isn't working. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to put my hoodie back on, because that's what I needed at that moment, was not to look cute. I needed to feel comfortable in myself.
Yes.
My mood changed instantly.
Oh,
as
good.
soon as I changed my clothes.
Good, because you were trying to find it in something that wasn't going to work
It
anymore.
wasn't. And it was the strange, that was the first time
You
ever.
adapted.
I did. And
Yeah.
again, that had to be something that I had to do all the heart work for, all of the mind work for, all of that for what, a year, you know, a little bit more than a year to get to be to that point. So when I talk to women, I want them to understand that this is not just something you just like wake up and can do. If they hear us talk on the podcast about, oh yeah, we did this and we did that and this is what worked, there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Oh, don't think this happened at like a weekend retreat.
No,
So,
no. And it's
no.
ongoing. This is ongoing. This is not something that you just like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
recovered. I'm all good. I'm totally fine. It's wonderful.
I
Isn't
have
it
a
great?
perfect example to go along to
Yes, tell me the perfect
about
example.
that. So that group that I have on Wednesday nights, the topics that we studied both the last 2 weeks and now these 2 weeks have been tough for them. And I knew that going into it.
Right.
So I've been doing my very best to take care of them through this and to encourage. And then we're on the big one, the forgiveness one. Ooh. Heavy one, hard one, whether it's you're waiting for that I'm sorry from somebody, or you have some forgiveness that you have to give. Both as a human being can be difficult. But I preach, it's the key. It is the key. It's not saying everything is fine. It's not saying, oh, it doesn't matter. It's literally saying, I'm not carrying the weight of what your actions or choices or whatever it is with me in life anymore. I am free and clear of it. If you want to sit with it, have at it. But I'm not. I'm done. So I've been teaching this. But as, you know, we went into the second week of it, I'm like, I am slumping. Like my mood was diving. It was bad, like bad. And I sat there and I'm like, it's like I knew what it was.
Yep.
I knew. And I'm like, I either practice what I preach or I don't preach. I mean, that's just the way it is in my life now. I take it seriously. I'm also speaking Friday night and I said, I'm not walking up there to do that unless I take care of some business first, because it all stemmed from forgiveness on my side. Not giving, but apologies for. Just if there is something, whatever my part in, whatever hurt I may have caused, I am absolutely, truly, profoundly sorry, and it will never, ever be held against you. I am saying, no, I am all done with it. It's over and done with. Yes.
From that.
So the response was awful. But the next day, I woke up so light. Unexplainable.
Because you had released your side of it. You can't control what people do on the other side of it.
And that's the thing. We get that wrong so often. Like we're expecting that the other side will reciprocate or respond by changing behavior. You can't go into it expecting any of it. I did it for me. I did it for me because I am done wasting any more time in my life towards things that aren't good for my here and now and future, because I'm not going back there ever again.
No.
So I can honestly say it's always like a work in progress. But as of 2 days ago, I finally can say it's all done. It
Love
is
that.
all done. Like, I feel 487 pounds lighter. It is the
amazing.
weirdest, craziest thing, but I'm not being affected by it anymore. I'm all done. I'm not letting it.
Right. And that's so true because, you know, when we forgive others, like you said, it's not for them.
No.
It's never for them.
No, it isn't.
Because we can't control anybody but
No,
ourselves.
for sure.
And that's it. And I will be the first one to say, I'm not the first one to apologize on things.
Oh,
Aaron,
it's hard
in our
for
marriage,
me. Ooh.
he is on it. Like, he will apologize for things
Oh,
that
good man,
he didn't
Aaron.
even do. Like,
Yep.
he apologizes.
He's very good.
I'm not the faster one to apologize.
I hang on
And
to things.
yeah, I'm working on that.
Me too. Want to do it together?
I don't
Can
think
we
I
work
do a very
together?
good job at it. Like, I will literally fight to the death.
I know. It's like
And
I
it's like,
pick
why?
the weirdest
Like,
hills to die
Yeah,
on. I'm
why?
like,
Okay.
And then I feel like an idiot after.
Yeah, because
though.
then after
It's
I'm like, okay, what did we just argue about? Like, that was literally the stupidest thing in the whole world,
know.
and I was fighting for
I
it
know.
like my life depended
I know.
on it.
It's
Like,
this
why?
stubborn thing that I
It is.
have.
Yeah.
Fiercely stubborn and human.
Yep, that's how,
And
that's
I'm
why
like-
you and I get along so well.
I'm like, I
We
can hang on
understand
to
each
this
other.
one for a long time. I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
get some mileage out of this. And all it does is it makes me feel yucky and stupid.
Yeah, it's really
So-
funny. Like, Aaron and I, we very, very rarely argue about important things.
Oh, yeah, we don't
Those
either.
things we can pretty much talk about.
Yeah.
The stupid, petty, little, like, the most ridiculous things.
I know.
It's like, oh, yeah, okay. Look at that. And
I
our
know,
kids,
look what
our
we
kids
did,
are old
so-
enough now that they have given us feedback. It's so fun. And so, like, Addison being the only one that's left in the
Yes.
home, she's had to get in between us a couple times and just been like,
It's just
neither one of you are
enough.
listening, or, you know, Mom,
Take a
you're being
corner."
crazy, like, shush, shush, you know, or Dad, or whatever,
Yes.
whatever it is, you
Yep.
know. And like, you know, our boys are just kind of like, yeah, you guys argue about really stupid things. And then it just kind of like escalates, and it's just really dumb.
Right.
And like, neither one of you are really actually mad about anything. You just are
Right.
just doing
And
things.
I find it, and it's not even necessarily that, you know, if that happens, you know, with us too, it's not that I'm mad at him.
Yeah, I'm
I
usually
am
not mad at him either.
It tends to be, there's just tension from outside sources
Right.
that come into the home. He's my safest place.
Who do we take
So-
our things
and I
out on? The
hate
things that we're
that.
the people that we're
Yeah.
the closest to. There are
Right.
two people in life
know.
that can get me as mad ever than one person in particular, the other person almost as much. But like, my oldest,
Yep.
love that kid more than anything in the
Oh,
world. Would take
yes.
a bullet for him over and over again.
Yes.
Him and I are so similar that it's like
Combustible,
We
kind of.
are like an atom bomb together
Yep.
sometimes, you know, not recently, but like,
Right.
and then with Aaron too. But
Yeah.
again, those are the closest people. And so we're
Yeah.
safe with them.
We are.
So I had a moment the other day that something made me extraordinarily angry. And I voiced it in front of all of Aaron's friends. And some words were not swear words, but most of them were not. Most of them were swear words. And like, somehow I strung them all together, right? And so then I left because I felt much better. Not that I was yelling at them. I was
Got
yelling
it.
about the situation. So I wasn't, you know, like, I wasn't directing
sure.
it towards them. I was just venting it out. Well, a little while later, a couple of them came up and they were like, we've literally never heard you talk like that before. We've decided we never want to make you mad. And I was like,
Well, that's good.
okay. I said, did I sound like I was from New York? I'm like, 'cause when I get to that point, I'm like, my
Yep.
old New York accent can come out, and all thought goes away, and it's just every
It's
swear
just
word that my brain can possibly
When my
think
filters
of.
fall down,
Yeah.
and I'm not pleasant for anybody to be around when I get to that point, because I have lost the ability to control what is going to come out of my mouth. So I'm not going to say it nice. I just have words that need to come out right now.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. But that's what I used to do
yeah,
with my kids.
Okay.
I had no, like, when my oldest was a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that inner control of like,
pull back.
I would explode.
Yep.
They would explode, I would explode, we would be exploding, the whole house would be exploding.
Yes.
And so that was I'm glad to know that I can mature out of that.
Yep.
You know?
We can always keep growing up, no matter what
Yes.
age we are.
Yes.
So,
now
and it's not unusual. I think a lot of people struggle with this.
I'm a little worried about being put into menopause next week
Mm-hmm.
because, or on the 8th. It's not next week, it's the week after. They're putting me into menopause.
Yeah.
And I started crying about that the other day because I was already kind of being grumpy, and my middle son was over, and I'm like, what about when I'm in menopause? And everyone's going to hate me, and I'm going to be so sad, and they're just going to think I'm crazy. And he's like, Mom, we will still love you.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, thank you, because
They
I don't know
will.
how that's going to go.
It's going to be bumpy for a little bit.
It is. It's
as
gonna
you
be-
adjust.
I'm
It
gonna be a
is
hot
going to.
mess.
And I'm not going to sit and say, oh, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
People I know have been through it, and I've experienced it, but I knew what it was. You cannot control those emotions when
Right.
the hormones are at play like that. You don't have the ability to.
Right.
You can do the best with how you're feeling at the time, but
Well, it's
yeah.
the same thing like steroids. When I was on
For-
steroids, I
those are
was such a
brutal.
monster. I was such a monster. And so
Those
it
are
terrifies
brutal.
me that I won't feel like myself again.
Mm.
You know, I have tried so hard for the past 5 months to maintain trying to feel
Yeah.
like me while going through
Yeah.
this. And I think about like women going through any situation, the loss of a spouse, or, you know, some sort of catastrophic event,
Yeah.
or whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? How do you maintain you? How do you maintain
'cause it's important. You
yourself
have to.
and some semblance of not normalcy, because the world is not normal in your life at that moment,
Right.
you know, but how do you not get lost in the shuffle?
for sure. You want to be Sarah, not Sarah with cancer right now,
Right.
or Sarah right out of, surgery, or
Yeah.
this.
I want to be Sarah,
just Sarah.
not
Me.
Sarah on drugs and Sarah on the legal kind of drugs, and Sarah on menopause, and, you know, just all those
Right.
things. And so
Right.
I think that between the identity and my emotion,
Sure.
I mean, I've said to Aaron probably 5 times over the past couple weeks that I don't feel like I'm worth anything right now. Let me explain.
yeah.
Not that I feel depressed or anxious or anything like that.
Right.
I feel worthless. Like I'm just sitting here, and I mess things up all the time right now because my
Okay.
brain is just jumbled, and I can't concentrate on anything. And I
Yeah.
just keep messing up, and I'm not a person that likes to mess up.
No, you
right?
don't.
So I constantly feel like I'm just in the way. I feel like I'm in the way physically because I'm just like have been recovering so much over the past couple months. And so I find myself saying that like a lot. Like I feel like I have nothing to add to the table right now. I feel like I have nothing to bring to anybody. I feel like I have nothing to, And then he just keeps reassuring me like, yes, you do. And which is why I've been adamant about trying to continue to do the podcast and try to
Yes.
continue to try
You're
to
doing
do
photos
those things.
and
Yeah, I
those
mean,
are
not
you.
at the level that I was.
Right. And you don't have to. That will come.
Yeah.
That will come.
Yeah,
But you also have to do things.
you do.
You can't just stop and sit with it, because then it's just like
Right.
you're going to be crushed by it in how you're perceiving reality, which may or may not be correct, will just grow and grow and grow, and it will convince you
Yeah.
that it's so. Yeah.
Having a hot flash right now.
So you're
Is it
practicing.
really warm in here?
So
Woo!
it is
All right.
a little bit warm, but there you go.
I'm like, oh, hot flash.
You are
Anyways,
so ready. It's going to feel like summertime, but
I'm so excited
what
for
I've
that,
heard from
heading
other
into
people
summer.
is they did have like 3 to 4 months. They said it was just,
Yeah.
we got through it. But then they're like, but then it's like, okay, it's better, and it's settling in, and your body adapts to and gets used to.
Dang train. Well, let's end here. Only
Okay.
because the train is coming.
Yes.
But I want to do a quick mention that next week we have a special guest that's
Oh,
coming.
yay.
And we are going to talk about grief.
That
And we're
actually
going
is
to talk
good
about
to
grief and loss. And I think
Yeah.
that's going to be a good train. It's going to be a good, kind of follow up
Yes.
to what we talked about now. So we're going to say goodbye because the train decided to interfere, and we love you guys, and tune in next week. And please
Okay.
like and subscribe. And I'm just going to keep talking as the train comes
okay,
through
we can
because
out-talk the
gosh,
train.
stupid train. Anyways. All right. Bye.